Hey, beautiful souls, beautiful sunshine here with the Holistic Healer, aka Sonia B. I am back with another prophetic message that I received. I just want to say that if you are new to my channel, I just want to say welcome. And for those of you who are returning back, I want to say welcome back. And for those of you who know, I've been kind of battling with the balloons. So I got rid of the balloons yesterday, but I kind of like picked these little posters up at the Lakeshore Learning Store because I like to go in there and get my laminations from when I was doing in-home childcare. I would go in there and get my posters and stuff laminated. But anyway, so I decided to use that as like a little cover up my pictures in the background of the kids or whatever the case may be. So in case you chime in on the background and want to read the signs, have at it. They're encouraging as well as inspirational, so from time to time you may see them rotate. But anyway, with all that being said, keep in mind that these energies could be happening now. For different people, it could be happening during different times, so just keep that in mind. Some it could be happening now, some could be happening, maybe next week, 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out, near future, month time or so. It just depends. So just keep in mind. But and if the message does not resonate with you right now, does not necessarily mean that if you're clicking on my channel, obviously the message, you were probably divinely guided to my channel in order to hear the message. So just because it may not resonate right now does not necessarily mean that it may not resonate in the near future. So keep that in mind as well too. And I also wanted to say that and if these energies aren't happening to you, they could be happening to someone that's around you, family member, co-worker, boss, spouse, significant other, however you want to refer to it. Just take it how it resonates. But anyway, with all that being said, hold on, y'all. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. But anyway, with all that being said, I don't know, like all last week I had anyway, it's better now, but with all that being said, I feel like I'm purging something. But anyway, with all that being said, keep in mind that, what else do I want to say? I feel like there's something else for me to say, but I'm not quite sure. But anyway, with all that being said, let's get right into the message. I know I looked at today when I wrote in my dream journal, whatever, the last time I posted a message, and it was like 6 days ago. So I realized that it's been like 6 days, although for me it seemed like it was probably like about 3 or 4 days, but it's been a little longer than I expected or whatever. But anyway, so I received a message. I received 2 messages this morning, and I just want to let you know that I already pre-shuffled the cards because I got stuff I have to do when I get off camera. I was gonna do this morning, but I had something else important that I need to take care of, wrap it up, and be done with it. And I just decided to go ahead and just know that from time to time I may take and pre-shuffle the cards prior to coming on camera, because either I have something I got going on or something I need to do, and I need to condense time down. So anyway, with all that being said, I pre-shuffled the cards already, but let me get right into the message. So I'm gonna start with this message because yes, I'm gonna start with this message first. So this first message has something to do with, and please bear with me, guys. Please bear with me, and please do not think that I am racist, because I am not racist. I am only giving you the message that was given to me, and I have to deliver it as such. Keep in mind that I work for God, Source Spirit, Divine Spirit of Light, however you want to refer to, whatever you believe in spiritually. But just know that I am my own business, but yes, I do work for the Divine Spirit of Light. So keep that in mind too. So in other words, whatever information he gives me and I meant to share it, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just here to deliver the message. So please don't take offense, because I'm not targeting anyone. I am just only stating what's been shown to me. So with all that being said, again, I'm not justifying or giving anyone any excuses or any reasons to have any sort of racism. It's just that I told you guys before I had asked this question, and and the question was, how was people able to, just show me ways of how people were able to benefit. And anyway, with all that being said, I asked that question a couple of times ago. I was shown 2 other ways of how people were able to benefit off other people. So anyway, with all that being said, I just want to make you guys aware of what was shown to me. So keep this in mind, okay? But again, I'm only delivering this message out of love and light. Is only to inform you, not to allow, is not to meant to cause you to be bitter or store up any type of animosity or any type of grudge or have any type of grudge against somebody. Because what I'm being told is, it's like we all have spiritual gifts, and I stated this before in another video. We all have spiritual gifts, and it's up to you how you choose to use them. But usually the divine spirit of light, he gives you those things because he wants you to use it for good. But unfortunately, sometimes people don't always use it for good. So I say all that to say, that sometimes people can allow ego to become involved in and think, oh, well, this is a situation. And sometimes it's due to circumstances, is what I'm hearing also too. Sometimes it could be a person's circumstances that put them through the test of, oh my God, I need this, I need that. So how am I going to get that? Well, it's not necessarily like somebody's out here robbing and stealing from a store per se, but it is stealing in my eyes personally. And I'm sure it's also, I can't speak for God, but I'm going to actually speak for God in a sense. I'm sure it's also stealing from God. It's also stealing from God's eyes as well too. And I say all that to say, because what I am hearing is, if the person doesn't know that you're doing it, then it's stealing in a sense. So in other words, if somebody has a spiritual gift and they say, hey, well, I'm going to steal some energy from you. And you say, okay, go ahead, steal some energy from me. And you're giving them permission to, okay, well, that's not stealing. But if they're doing it and they know what they're doing, remember, it's your intentions behind what you do. So if your intentions to know to steal because the other person does not know, then that's a form of stealing. But I say all that to say, that, again, don't shoot the messenger. I am here to, yes, I'm sorry. I feel like God is using me as a catalyst. That's why I feel like he's using me as a catalyst to like shake shit up. And I say that to say, because I told you guys before, I don't know if I told you guys before, but I explained before, like, actually on my website, I don't know if some of you have went to my website, but I explained that, I'm a Hoyoka empath. So I say all that to say, Hoyokas go through so much shit. And it's like they deal with so much, but we go through stuff. And it's like to bring the information back to the people. In other words, to make you aware of certain things. So when I say that we go through so much, we go through so much. And it's almost like we mirror people's behavior back to them, as where somebody may say that you're going tit for tat. It's a sense of mirroring what you do and showing you what you do. And it's like whatever energy you're giving off, is like that person is giving you back that energy. Take it how you will. Some people do it in a way of they're just going tit for tat because they're trying to, what's the word? They trying to, they don't want to assume responsibility. So yeah, but keep that in mind. You have to understand the difference between the two, because, this is not a sense of trying to make anybody feel bad. Again, imagine how I feel that I have to sit here and give this message. But anyway, with all that being said, let me just get right into the message and get it over with. So, because sometimes information show up to me, and it shows up to me as through international people of divine spirit light is showing me what to expect from certain people. So with all that being said, the message that I saw was, I'm just kind of give you a little quick scenery. So I walked into the store, myself and my daughter, in this dream. And it was already, as we walked in there, it was already, the lights were like a little dim or whatever. I don't know if some of you like grocery shop like at Wegmans, but Wegmans they kind of changed their lighting scenery in the store. Like, it's almost like they dim down the lights, and they have like maybe resets lights in the ceiling that kind of, the recessed lighting kind of shines on the food in a sense. So in other words, let's just say if an apple is looking kind of dull, the light's going to make it look like it's very shiny and appealing and wants to eat. So keep in mind, these tactics are nothing but illusions. I just want to make you aware of that because that's what I'm hearing right now, illusions. So we walked into this store and the lights were just a dim, just a little bit. So my daughter went to one section of the store to go get whatever it was. I can't really say exactly what it was I went in there to buy. But she went to a section to go get something that she wanted. And it was a really small store. And I went and got something that I wanted. And then when I was ready, I went and got in line. And I saw that there was a Caucasian man who was helping this lady. So I thought, well, let me finish looking near the checkout register. Let me finish looking until he's done helping her. Well, I didn't notice that there was somebody else sitting back there next to him, beside him. He was almost like he was camouflaging in with, the stuff over on the side. So all I heard was, I can help the next person in line. And they kind of waved like that. So I remember walking up to the counter and I told him, I said, I didn't even see you over here. I was like, I told her, I said, I didn't even see you over here. And then, so I paid for my stuff. So I handed him the money to pay for my stuff. And as I handed him the money, he gave me back my change. Can I get some assistance, please? And I'm going to just briefly show you, because I'm going to use my daughter real quick just to show you how it was. Because if I show you with my hand, you'll get really confused about what was being done. So this is my hand, and he placed the money into my hand. He placed the money into my hand like this. And when I realized what he was doing, I took his hand and I went like this to him. So sorry. I went like this to him and I really thank you. Appreciate it. That you see those beautiful model hands. Thank you so much, beautiful daughter. Anyway, so I took his hand and I twisted it like really hard in the dream. And I remember his reaction was as if he wanted to, he wanted to respond to me hurting him, should I say, but he didn't. And the reason why he didn't is because I guess the owner of the shop is what I got. He was sitting right next to him. He was the Caucasian man. He was sitting right next to him. And once he realized kind of like it wasn't okay. So the owner was sitting right next to him. And the guy who was helping me, once he gave my change and I twisted his hand back, and again, he's like kind of like that. And it's just like he really wanted to say something, but he realized he'd done something wrong, and he didn't know that I knew what he was doing spiritually behind the scenes, behind the physical of what he was doing. I saw his intention spiritually. Let me make that clear because I want to make sure you still follow me. So after he put the money in my hand and I twisted his hand and I looked at him and I told him, I said, no. And then he looked at me, and then the Caucasian person that was next to him, he looked at me and he looked at the guy like, okay, like what just happened here? Like he didn't get too involved because he knew he's kind of was finishing up with a customer. But I say all that to say it brought some sort of attention to him that he didn't want to be brought to him because I said no to him and twisted his wrist. So anyway, with all that being said, I made myself very clear. I stood my ground with him and I let him know basically that I'm a force not to be messed with. And I think he got that message. So with all that being said, and I say that in much love and much light, not from a place of a high ego, but yes, because some people think that that you're spiritually unaware of what people are doing. So with all that being said, after I was done paying for my stuff, I stood still where I was standing at, but I kind of backed up from the counter a little bit. So he was doing his work and I was waiting for my daughter to come to the counter to buy her stuff. So she finally came to the counter to buy her stuff. And by this time, imagine if you're like at 7-Eleven or CVS and you're checking out and they have all like the candy and bubble gum and stuff in front of you or whatever the case may be. Well, he was adjusting something on the shelf, like right there in front of the counter. And we was both standing on the same side of the counter, but I stood back a little bit. And while he was, doing his job, fixing and making sure, I guess it was arranged or putting whatever out that he needed to replenish on the shelf or whatever that was right in front of the register. So with all that being said, he basically, as he was doing that, excuse me, my daughter came to the counter and she was ready to pay for her stuff. Well, when she came to the counter, she didn't know that I just had an encounter with him. She didn't know that. So she was standing a little too close to him. So I took my hand and I kind of just slightly moved her waist over a little bit in order to move her out of the way, because I understood how energy works. And I say all that to say that I knew that she was standing just a little bit too close to him, to the point that, somebody can, depending on how a person is, depending on if a person is, I'm not saying that she was weak. That's not what I'm saying. But it just depends on if a person is not spiritually aware of how the energy works and how people. Okay. Anyway, with all that being said, I just basically wanted to say I understood how energy works. So I was scooting her over basically as a way to protect her in a sense. So with all that being said, but not only that, but as we was leaving the store also, remember I said it was like as if the store was kind of like had lights in there that was like a little shallow in there, but the recess light were kind of dim. The recess lights were kind of dim. So I noticed on the way out of the store, I didn't realize this when I walked into the store, but walking out of the store, I heard like, imagine if you go into like a museum and let's just say it's like a military type museum, like the Quantico Museum or any of the museums that they have, or the I think that one that's over there in is it Pentagon or Crystal City, the military museum. Just imagine if it's some sort of military museum, and imagine if they have like little sections of the museum where you push the button and it makes like this little simulated noise, like saying, like you hear the helicopters going, the helicopters repeller going, breaker 19, we're about to go down, we got two enemy warplanes. I'm just giving you an example. So imagine that simulation, but it's playing throughout the store as a form of music, kind of like how I'm playing my music now, but it was playing like that throughout the store. But it didn't say anything about enemy. It wasn't any gun shooting, or it was just, I just knew that it had like a lot of little military stuff in there. So I'm not sure if this military stuff was representing, this is energy that's coming around about this 4th of July weekend. So be mindful of that. Or because I got like the store, it was kind of, and again, I don't remember what I was buying in the store, but it wasn't until I left out of the store that I realized it was kind of like had some sort of military surroundings in it. But again, I wouldn't need to buy anything in a military store anyway. So, but again, I think it was just a message to remind you guys, just pay attention around about the 4th of July, either before the 4th of July, after the 4th of July, somewhere around about that time. So obviously, this could be something that's happening. So just keep in mind that if you're going into any type of store, I don't know, I guess whether it's, and again, this is no attack on anyone physically. This is no attack on anyone physically. I'm only saying what information that was being given to me, by the divine spirit of light or whatever, to make some of you guys aware of. So anyway, with all that being said, so just be mindful. The point of this story, I'm sorry, y'all. It's been 6 days since I did a video. So anyway, but the moral of the story that I had gotten from this, once I woke up, was be mindful of when you're putting money into people's hands, especially, this everything that we do, we always do it with the right hand. We shake people's hand. You might want to be mindful of just shaking people's hands in general, because, what I did not know was, even just a form of, I'm not saying that you can't greet somebody, but you don't necessarily have to shake their hands or whatever the case may be. Go at your own, do what you will, what I say. I know. Thank you, Spirit, because I almost forgot about that. Do what's best for you, because I know today when I went to the store, I actually had to get something else laminated. And this time, because of my dream, I went to the store, I handed the guy the money. Well, I'm not necessarily touching the money with the palm of my hands, but I held the money at the edge of the tip of it to pass it to him. And I just asked him, I said, I said, I'm sorry, but no offense or whatever. I said, but can you just put the money on the counter and I'll just take it from there or whatever? And it didn't matter anyway, because he already had on his plastic shield and he had on his face mask, which is fine because he's trying to protect himself. Just like he's trying to protect himself, I'm protecting myself as well too. So I just asked him if he could just put the change on the counter, and I just took the change off of the counter. So I say all that to say that, and this is something that I didn't know. This is the point and the moral of the story. You have to be mindful when you handing people money, as well, especially more so when you receiving like your change back, or people's putting money in your hand. Let's just say like if somebody's sitting there counting money and putting it in your hand like this, you have to be careful of that, because spiritually, it's like you may find yourself, people know how, bear with me. Some people know how energy works, and they have known this information all their life. Some of us have not known how energy works. Thank you, Spirit. Some of us have not known how spirit, exactly how energy works. And I say all that to say that, sometimes people can try to steal your energy. Sometimes people can try to steal your energy in a way that you're not even aware of. And this is not from a physical point of view. This is from a spiritual point of view. Like it's so much stuff that kind of goes on behind the scene of the physical world. Like everything has meaning. It's not just by coincidence things exist, but they have meaning to them. So many different meanings that it's just like, when I started to discover this, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, seriously? I was like, oh, so that's what some of that stuff was about. So I say all that to say, and I make you mindful of, well, I'm wrapping up this part of the dream. I make that very mindful of, I remember when my spouse and I sometimes would like just go to 7-Eleven, whether it was to, years ago, whether it's to maybe get the kids Slurpee or pick up some Gatorade because we was traveling or whatever the case may be. But I say all that to say, I know sometimes he would get offended, and let's be honest, 7-Eleven is not like 7-Eleven how it was back in the day. Well, when I was growing up as a kid, it was more Caucasian people who was running 7-Eleven. Again, this is no offense on 7-Eleven, and this is no offense on the people who run the store. It's just the intentions behind what the individual is doing. So let me make that very clear right now. I am not racist, okay? But I say all that to say, I'm just here to make you guys aware of just some of the things that people do. Anyway, so with all that being said, I remember sometimes we would go into 7-Eleven. I remember my spouse would come outside and get in a car, and I remember he would clearly get mad. And I was like, well, what's wrong with you? And he would say stuff like, or even if I was in the store with him, he would get pissed off, with saying stuff like, oh, well, I gave him the money in his hand and he want to give it back to me on the counter and slide it to me on the counter. Well, honestly, and I say all that to say now, because I said when I was younger, I noticed that it was more Caucasian people who ran 7-Elevens, but now it's more international people who run 7-Eleven. And just to be honest, a lot of these international people knows how energy works. Let me say that. I wouldn't say most of them probably know how energy works. Why? Because I'm sure it was something that was passed down from one generation to the next generation to the next generation. So anyway, and it's not the fact that something being passed down, is just the fact of passing down stuff when it's involves manipulating, or it doesn't have good intentions behind it. That's the key to it. So keep that in mind. So yeah, he would get upset about the fact that they put his money on the counter and slid it to him. And I actually had a conversation with my daughter this morning when I was telling her about, I was like, yeah, I said, I remember when your dad would, get upset when, people would slide their money on a counter to them because he felt offended about it. Well, I would say nowadays, please don't feel offended if somebody slides you the money on the counter, by all means, because you're saving yourself and you're keeping your own energy by doing so. That's the message that I received from that dream. So keep that in mind. Anytime somebody is putting some money into your hand, it's almost a form of you, and it's sometimes it's not even a form of them trying to steal your energy. Sometimes it's in a form of, you could be unawarely giving them your energy as well too. So keep that in mind too. But anyway, I'm done with that conversation. So this other dream that I had was, okay, so this other dream that I had was, it was like as if somebody was applying for like, it's kind of almost like they were auditioning for a job. So I'm not sure if this was like a audition or like some sort of job interview, because what it was I heard someone kind of like, it's almost like they was running lines, reciting lines or something, and it could have been something for its advertising, what I'm hearing too. So keep that in mind. Just stay open and take the information how it may resonate with your situation, because everybody else's situation, it could be a little different. But it was as if somebody had somebody reciting back some lines, like, example, like, and it wasn't like a Chick-fil-A job. I'm just using this as an example. Chick-fil-A may say, "Hi, welcome to Chick-fil-A. How can I serve you today?" or whatever the case may be. And they say stuff like "my pleasure." So it could have been a situation of somebody had them reciting what the company's logo was, or what their theme or their jingle was, or however you want to put it. But anyway, they had the individual kind of like reading and reciting something, is what I heard. But it was almost as if I had heard somebody else listening in on the conversation, even though it was two people in the room. It's like it was a third person, but they was listening on, maybe like through an intercom, or a conference call type thing or whatever. But anyway, with all that being said, the moral of the story was, I heard the individual. I felt like this individual was like an executive type person. So there was a person giving the interview. Then the person who was on the intercom, or the group conference call, he was the executive guy. So with all that being said, I heard him having a conversation with like the hiring person who normally hires people on. I heard him having a conversation saying something to the nature of well, that they're not necessarily denying the person the job. They're not going to necessarily deny the person the job for now. Because basically, I'm not sure if it was to the point of they just need a body to fill that position, or I'm not sure if it was because they needed a body to fill the position, or they're just going to have this individual there, maybe to see, what I'm hearing is maybe to see exactly, almost kind of like to see, it's almost like they didn't necessarily fit the position or didn't necessarily qualify for the position, but they're not going to necessarily turn them down. But it's almost like that they're going to kind of see where it kind of leads, or go to, should I say, if that makes sense. But anyway, those are all the messages that I received, y'all. So anyway, let me get into these cards real quick. There were actually 3 cards that came out, so I'm just going to read it to you real quick. And the first one is Elder's card. It says, move beyond the limitations that has been set for your family members, past and present. Know that the energies of the spirit is more powerful than genetics and behavioral patterns. Let's see. The elders is the ancestors who comes with a message of healing change. He is an embodied soul, yet has had his journey that goes beyond his physical. Therefore, he represents a reclamation of power. When he appears When he appears, it's an acknowledgement that you have the captivity to move beyond limitations that have been placed upon you. If you have had if you have had expectations of success, failure, sadness, or even sickness placed upon you by your family, it's important to know that you are here to create your own story. This card represents personal healing that will bring healing to your family lineages, past, present, and future. Know that you get to decide what you take on, and also know that your ancestors are rooting for you and are sorry for any setbacks that they have created for you. So keep that in mind, y'all. Sometimes the spiritual journey is about clearing family karma, and so on and so on. Just what some of you understand what I'm talking about, and what I'm hearing is there about to be some other people who are about to experience the same thing, or some of the things that some of you guys had to deal with on your journey as well too. So again, keep that in mind. It says to move beyond ancestral patterns. You get to choose. You can keep repeating the same cycles, or you can just decide to change those cycles. The choice is yours. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't read this part too. The Aboriginal people are the oldest tribal people still living on the planet. Their hunter-gathered cultures and an ancient spiritual are rooted in tradition and balance with the earth. So the Aboriginal ancestors are offering you not only wisdom that will help you heal and adapt to the ever-changing planet, but also an understanding of what spiritual life should be. So keep that in mind, and please forgive me. I actually am a little tired. Not only am I tired, but I've been trying to take care of what I've been wrapping up the project I told you I was working on. But anyway, so I didn't really have a break today. So bear with me. Sometimes I start to read the words twice or see the words twice. So I'm just trying to focus here. Anyway, so this next one was wisdom one. Grow within your current situation. Knuckle down, be reliable and committed. Be open to wisdom and insight from the elders. The wise one represents the wisest aspect of goddesses. The crone in paganism and modern Wicca, the crone is the fiercest, most psychic, and most aware aspect of the goddess, because she has been through many of life challenges and overcome many setbacks. And this card reminds me so much actually of myself, because if only y'all knew. On this card, the raven in her hand represents the captivity to overcome the dark times and the reborn again and again. So she helps you to tap into wisdom and to overcome whatever life throws at you. Wisdom being the information stored in your soul rather than the knowledge acquired in this lifetime, and to learn from the experiences of your elders. The wisdom of the wise one is based on something that the younger generation is often lacking: commitment and reliability. When this card appears, you are being guided to continue working on your growth and your expansions within your current situation, being committed to your tasks and projects. It can be very easy to get bored or overwhelmed, but persevere. You're being reminded of how it feels to be let down and experience unreliability. Whew, if that ain't the truth. And that is not who you were born to be. So keep working on what you're working on, because it's going to be extremely beneficial for you in the long run. So if you've been working on something, keep mastering that shit. Let me just say that. And I say that in all love and light, in the most humbling way that I know how. And this last card was mountain. Hold firm to what you believe in, or Hold firm to what you believe in or are focused on, because it is absolutely right. Know that heaven and earth are supporting you. Mountains are strong and wise. They are rooted deep in the earth. They're rooted deep in the earth and reach high to the sky. They have been where they excuse me, they have been where they are for thousands of years. Excuse me, y'all. They've been home to animals. They have been climbed by humans. They have been there have been seasons come and go. No matter what has happened to them, they have remained strong, removable, and unshakable. And so that offers the spiritual energies of strength and resilience. Mountain energy is powerful because it's firmly rooted in the Great Mother and reaches high to the Great Father. If you're feeling challenged or pressured at this time, know that your spirit is more powerful than you think. You are resilient and grounded in the energy and air of the mountains. And air is representing basically the divine spirit of light, and earth is representing Mother Earth, just to let you guys know that. Is giving you the unshakable strength to be who you are. Take time to root yourself deeply into the energies of the earth before welcoming in the energies of heaven. If you're not sure what you need to do next, the mountain card invites you to stay exactly where you are. Talk things over with those around you and know that change will come to you. You will be whole and well at the end of this current situation, and it will not stand in the way of your future growth or expansions. So, if you got some stuff that you need to talk about, or you're being divinely guided to talk about it. You talking about it, it does not hold you back. Keeping it to yourself holds you back, because you're not expressing your true feelings and your emotions is what I'm hearing. So anyway, I am one of those people who this card is referring to. It's not only referring to me, but the message came through as what information did I need to let the collective know, according to the prophetic message that I received, the 2 messages that I received this morning. So anyway, with all that being said, I hope you guys have a beautiful weekend. I never know when a message is going to come through, so I guess Divine Spirit Light gave me a 6-day break. And with all that being said, I've definitely been persevering today through, I didn't even take a break like I normally do. So I am really feeling a little tired. So I hope the information was helpful. Again, I just want to reiterate that just keep in mind the energies or these messages are meant to just inform you of things that just been happening behind the scenes. So if you should find yourself dealing with a situation of, and again, I have no offense or no issues with any international people, as long as you know what my problem is. I don't care what color you are. I don't even care what nationality you are. The truth of the matter is, anytime somebody try to violate anybody's or take advantage of, I have an issue with that. That's my problem. So I have an issue with people who try to hide behind closed doors when they know their intentions aren't good. That's my issue. So I'm bringing this message to say that it's not about feeling angry towards somebody. It's not about hating somebody. It's about right is right and wrong is wrong. And if you're wrong and you're not telling somebody what you're doing, then you're wrong as hell for it. It is what it is. So I don't care what color you are. You can be the same color as me. If you know your intentions aren't good, then hell, that applies to you too. So again, I'm making that very clear. Right is right, wrong is wrong. So if you are someone who are watching my channel and this is something that you have been doing, maybe you might want to reconsider and put the shoe on the other foot. I just get a second win. Maybe you might want to reconsider and put the shoe on the other foot. In other words, if you were the ones that wasn't aware of what was taking place, that does not give you a justified reason to take advantage of someone else. So with all that being said, if you don't want something being done to you, don't do it to other people. And that message, I'm going to end right there. Again, if you don't want something being done to you, don't do it to other people, because you of all people know how karma comes back in return you know. So with all that being said, I'm wishing y'all a beautiful weekend. I hope you all enjoy your weekend. I wish you all much love, much light, and I say namaste. And till the next prophetic message. Bye.